and beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself.
Shalom, children. Today we are going to be taking a deeper look at this week's Torah portion to see where it speaks of Yeshua Ha'Mashiach. We are in the book of Bereshit. The parasha this week is called Vayigash, which in Hebrew means he drew near. We will learn that drawing near means a lot more than moving closer to someone. But first, let's hear a summary of the parashat. Yehuda draws near to plead for the release of Benjamin. He offers himself as a slave to the foreign ruler in Benjamin's place. After seeing his brothers' loyalty to one another, Yosef reveals his identity to them by announcing, "I am Yosef." He then asks, "Is my father still alive?" The brothers are overcome by shame and remorse, but Yosef comforts them. He tells them, "It was not you who sent me here, but Adonai." He adds, "It has all been ordained from above to save us, and the entire region from famine." The brothers rush back to Canaan to tell their father Jacob what has happened. Jacob travels to Mitzrayim with his sons and their families. He is reunited with his beloved son after 22 years. On the journey to Mitzrayim, Jacob receives a divine promise. Adonai says, "I am Elohim, the Elohim of your father. Do not fear to go down to Mitzrayim, for I will make of you a great nation there." Yosef gathers the wealth of Mitzrayim by selling food and seed during the famine. Pharaoh gives Jacob's family the fertile area of Goshen to settle in. The children of Israel have possessions, are fruitful, and increase greatly. Yeshua said, "If you believed Moshe, you would believe me, because he wrote about me." So let's dig a bit deeper to see if we can find Yeshua in the scriptures. Our parashat opens with the verse, "Then Yehuda drew near to him." Draw near in Hebrew is nagash. Many people are described as drawing near throughout the scriptures, and it doesn't always mean to stand very close to someone. For example, the disciple Jacob wrote, "Draw near to Elohim, and he will draw near to you." But how can we draw near to Adonai if he isn't physically stood in front of us? Well, Jacob explains, "Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded." So in order to draw near to Adonai, we need to cleanse our hands, that is, repent of our sin. When reading about Abraham interceding for the sake of the people of Sodom, we learn how Abraham came near to Adonai. He said, "Would you also destroy the righteous with the wicked?" So drawing near can be associated with interceding for someone, that is, pleading for someone's well-being when they are in trouble. And in the book of Shemot, Moshe wrote, "All the children of Israel drew near to Moshe, and he gave them as commandments all that Adonai had spoken with him on Mount Sinai." So drawing near can also be linked to people hearing Torah. When Yosef decided to reveal himself to the brothers, he said, "I am Yosef. Does my father still live?" But his brothers were unable to answer him, for they were trembling inside. You see, they had not sought forgiveness for the terrible thing they had done to their brother many years before. And here they were, confronted by their sin. But Yosef said to them, "Please draw near to me." After they did draw near, this Egyptian leader stood before them and said once again, "I am Yosef, your brother, whom you sold into Mitzrayim." He then offered forgiveness and healing by telling them, "Don't be upset or angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was Adonai who sent me here, ahead of you, to save your lives by a great deliverance." Children, we too can experience this forgiveness and healing. Shaul wrote to the Hebrews telling them, "Let us draw near to Adonai with a sincere heart, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience, and having our bodies washed with pure water." Just as the blood was sprinkled onto the mercy seat on the Day of Atonement, Yeshua sprinkled his blood at the crucifixion, providing atonement for us. We are then able to wash in the living water and Nagash. Perhaps you are wondering, why did Yosef choose that moment to reveal himself to them? Well, after Yehuda had drawn near, he began to plead with the Egyptian leader to let his younger brother, Binyamin, go. He said, "Please, my lord, let me stay here as a slave instead of the boy, and let the boy return with his brothers." After Yosef saw Yehuda truly have a change of character, that is, when he went from being a man who sold a brother into slavery, to now offering himself as a slave to set a brother free, he knew it was the time to show them who he truly was. Their time of testing was over. I can hardly imagine how they must have been feeling in that moment. Fear, guilt, relief, joy. Yeshua would tell his taught ones, there is no greater love than to lay down one's life for a friend. And as we know, Yeshua was willing to drink the cup of wrath meant for us and lay down his life. The story of Yosef showing his identity to the brothers is very interesting. In the last book of our Bibles we read, "Behold, he is coming with clouds, and every eye will see him, even they who pierced him." So Yeshua will reveal himself to everyone when he returns as king. But it's not just about us recognizing him. He needs to recognize us too. Yeshua gave the warning, "Strive to enter through the narrow gate, for many will seek to enter and will not be able to." When the master of the house has risen up and shut the door, and you begin to stand outside and knock, saying, "Lord, Lord, open for us," he will answer and say to you, "I do not know you. Depart from me, all you who do evil." I don't know about you, but I want Yeshua to recognize me if I have to knock on his door. What a beautiful example of mercy and compassion we have from Yosef in our parashah today. Despite the brothers showing so much hatred towards him all those years ago, even to the point of murder, Yosef reached out and asked them to draw near to him. and nearly 2,000 years later, during the terrible and cruel crucifixion, which Yeshua endured, he was able to show mercy despite the wickedness shown to him. When they had come to the place called Calvary, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on the right hand and the other on the left. Yeshua said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do." Let's follow Yosef's and Yeshua's example and show kindness to those we think deserve it, and especially to those we think do not deserve it. Well, children, that is the end of our study for today. So we will see you next time, when we search the scriptures together. Shalom.